Darkcast Network. Indie pods with a dark side.
You are listening to Castles and Cryptids, where the castles are haunted and the cryptids are cryptic as fuck. And I'm Alanna.
And I'm Kelsey.
I think maybe my computer might be haunted too. No, I don't know what happened when I tried to put on the intro.
We were both like, wait, what? What happened?
It just stopped. It just went Darkcast Network. Long pause.
We're like, yes, continue.
I don't know. Maybe I hit it again? I don't know. I was like, okay.
That was
3,
weird.
2, 1. And then I was like, I'll just put it on because we can't start this bullshit. And then I was like, oh, oops, maybe we made a noise at the same time. But I was like, whatever, that happens. And then it just stopped it stopped playing. I was like, I didn't touch anything.
Yeah, that was really weird.
Oh, Lord. Well, that's okay. If that's as weird as it gets, I'm fine with it. You guys are like, yeah, we didn't know there was a problem. You didn't even have to tell us.
Right?
But we
Could've
did, because we
been.
would have been acting weird. Right?
Yeah.
We're like, wait for it. Oh my god. I don't know. One of these days we'll maybe upgrade from just recording in laptops and mics plugged right in. Mugs. Ugh. But that would mean learning how to do it on something else. Maybe when it's my
Oh,
full-time
God.
job. And I have the wherewithal to figure that all out. Oh my gosh. Um Yeah. So what are we talking about today? I got nothing. Intro wise.
No. This one should be fun. I mean,
Oh yeah. I think
it's
so.
something I've had on my list probably since almost day one. I've
Oh,
touched a couple times. Always thought it would be
damn.
something interesting to be able to dedicate an episode to and properly research and look into. It's like premonitions, but
Yeah.
deja vu, that kind of stuff. I
Like
find
if
really fascinating.
yeah, with these kind of phenomenon of like, have I seen this? Or I have seen this, or what the fuck did I just
Yeah,
see? It's all so interesting. It's like, did our brains just come up with that? What is happening?
right.
Well, yeah.
I experience deja vu quite like what not often, but I feel
Yeah.
like it's really specific when I experience it.
Yeah,
And
same.
um like I experienced stuff um or thought I remembered experiencing stuff uh like years before I started working at the job I currently work at. I thought I had had deja
Okay.
vu about working at the job with people I had never met before. And then
Oh.
uh, when it ended up happening, and it was like, it's only when it happens that you remember feeling like you saw this before. And it
Right,
was like,
like
oh,
you're
well, this never would have
accessing
been
a
possible.
memory. Yeah, or
Yeah.
something. That
So
is a
I
weird
find it
one.
really interesting because a lot of times, for me at least, it's very specific. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it'll be like me in a certain place and like one to two, sometimes three different people like saying different things to me in a certain order, and
Mm-hmm.
like what I'm doing or what I respond, and it feels like that whole like situation has happened before, which
Yeah, the
is
whole
almost
interaction.
impossible.
Yeah, I've had
Yeah.
that for sure. And then you're like, I don't know, sometimes it's like, well, we're doing this, we're doing a podcast. Like maybe we have talked about this thing before, but it's just that weird feeling of like you got dropped right into a reality you've been in before or something. Yeah, it's hard to describe.
Yeah.
um,
So it's interesting to finally be able to like research and be like, oh, maybe that specific feeling is more common than we think, and maybe some of
yeah,
the things that might be causing it we'll get into.
that's cool. And I like reading about specific cases and stuff like that because, um, not to shout out a book that I didn't really like, but we have a book downstairs, a nonfiction book called The Deja Vu Enigma. And I was like, oh, this is cool. It's
Oh,
going to be
okay.
like delving into the phenomenon and stuff like that. And it was, but just like, it's just one of those like nonfiction books that for me was really, really hard to read. It just like, I was like, oh, this is like a textbook or something. Like, I just, it's just kind of
Yeah.
dry. And I was like, fuck. So
Some of the sources and stuff I ended up looking at, that's how I was feeling, a little textbooky.
right.
Uh,
It can be like depending how you dive into it, but
well,
we'll
we
try to
still
keep it
don't really
fun.
understand how your brain works and all that
Oh
stuff.
fuck no.
Not fully, so yeah,
Right.
it's interesting. I think they recently started talking more about how they don't really know why we sleep necessarily.
Yeah.
Um, it seems like
Yeah.
all creatures do to different extents, but like the purpose of it and how everything has evolved to sleep
Excuse me.
is not
Right. It's like
really
we know we
known.
need to because our bodies go
Yeah.
crazy if we don't. But like other than that, I think we have a very vague understanding of it. You're right.
It's like when you call um tech support and they're like, "Have you tried turning it off and on again?" It's like, but for people,
We just
have you
need a
tried having a
reset.
nap?
Yes.
Did you go to sleep?
Oh
You're
my
tired.
god. Somebody had a really good one-liner the other day at work because I work at a call center, so there's always, we're getting crazy people on the phones, and then you're getting off the phone, and
Yeah.
people will look around and be like, "Well, that sounded fun," and stuff like that. And this one girl, Colleen, she she had got off a bad call, or someone else had, and she just said, "Sounds like he needs a snack and a nap." And everybody was just like, that's great. I'm going to use that always. Like, perfect for anybody being a dick situation. And it stuck
Yeah.
around for a while. Who couldn't benefit?
Right? Some people you can't do anything to help them. No matter what you do, would
No,
never be good enough.
I had an older lady on the phone today that was like, I had to tell her we couldn't renew her plates because she had fines on her motor vehicle file. And she goes, well, that was a stupid ticket anyway. That wasn't a real ticket because I'm not going to pay it. So what are we going to do for me? I'm like, well, there's nothing we can do when you have a fine on file. It blocks us
Yeah.
from doing into your motor vehicle profile. So, well, they were stupid. It just proved to me they were all idiots anyway. It's not your fault. Like, yeah, no, I get it. It's frustrating. She was like funny, like mad, but not at me.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, take that up with the police then. Go to your local police branch and argue your ticket, I guess.
You're not gonna pay your ticket. You're not gonna get a registration then.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like
You
old.
won't be
You
able
sound
to
like old
renew
enough
your
to know.
registration. You can't
Yeah.
renew your driver's license.
Oh,
Like,
seriously. Get it together, people. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I don't know. I guess we are just gonna dive into it.
yeah, unless we've already done this.
Oh god. Well, I was gonna say it's almost like, because there's so many more things nowadays that don't. Well, they have, like, we've come up with different terms too in the internet age. Like there's glitch in the matrix, which obviously didn't
Yeah.
exist before the Matrix movies, and then like the famous. Well, it's become sort of internet podcast famous, the Reddit or the internet red lamp story, which is like one of those
Oh,
stories
yeah.
where like Buddy gets hit in the head or something and he experiences his whole life, kids, wife, whatever, until he starts like focusing on this weird red lamp in his room that just seems distorted somehow, and then
Yeah.
he's like looking at it until he wakes up in the hospital bed and finds out he just recovering from that hit to the head or whatever. And it's like some of those stories, it's like, what the fuck are those? I don't even think we have a name for those kind of
Yeah.
like parallel universe, like you just popped out into a different timeline stories. They're so
Yeah.
crazy.
Gordo, just stay over there. Ugh. It's like something dry in my throat.
Oh my god, I heard someone on a podcast today say their cat's name was Doja. I was like, Doja Cat. That's really good. Anyway. Gordo's being Gordo.
Gordo's like, I'm not in front of the mic. I'm just beside it.
Such an attention whore. No.
Yeah. All right.
Get him a mini mic. Like those little tiny ones people are always holding up in their little TikTok videos and everything. God,
that video
so
where somebody
sometimes.
goes, "Are you aware you're a cat?" And the cat just goes,
Nice.
"What?"
Oh, I love animal videos too. Where like Pat was showing me one of a big old dog, like a Great Dane. I don't know, something with those big old cheeks or whatever. And he's sitting in like a child seat in the back of a car, just with a big look on his face, like, "What? I know I'm too big for this car seat." God,
I'm just a big baby. Gordo is a big baby. He just laid. Look at him. He's just laying between me and the mic, buddy.
Practically on the laptop. Oh no, yeah, between you and the mic.
Okay, goodbye.
He's like a living what is that thing that the sound operators carry? A boom. He's like fuzzy and he goes by your mic.
He can muffle the sound. He's like,
Is
speak into my fur. It'll.
Yeah. I was like, either those are a mic or there's something else. But yeah, it's like the boom.
They're like I don't know what they're called, but like the foam that they put on a mic helps to muffle the vocal fry type things. Like speak into my fur. It'll clean up the audio.
Yeah, this one came with this thing I can put in front of the mic that's supposed to make the P sounds less poppy.
Yeah, mine had foam that can go on top of it, but
yeah,
I don't think I used it because it made it really quiet. I found the mic had to be so much closer to me.
Right. Yeah, mine's pretty bad. I feel like I have to be really close to mine before I sound as loud as you. I don't know. One of these days. It depends,
because mine, like I unplug mine every time we record and then putting it in and out of the drawer, like the dial for the volume of my audio going into the mic gets moved probably.
Oh my god. We're nothing if not consistent.
Yeah, so it changes almost every time.
Dude.
It's hard.
All that to say. Like, subscribe, and donate on Patreon. We can sound more professional, maybe. Oh, well. Well, I'm ready for some stories.
I have some information first, and then I have a couple first-hand accounts of
okay, give me the first part.
Interesting things. So this is kind of a thing about different theories and histories about deja vu. So deja vu means already seen.
What?
And is described.
Is it French, Kelsey? Sorry, I'm just kidding.
It is.
Crazy. I think I saw a thing on Reddit today.
Things and everything.
Yes. Sorry, it just really reminded me.
I don't know how to. I don't know how to type on my keyboard, so I had to keep copying and pasting the word deja vu because I don't know how to do the accents when I'm typing it.
No, because I think you have to make your keyboard do it. Otherwise, you can just do the correct thing after.
Yeah, I've like fucked up a keyboard or two when I was a teenager, accidentally turning it to French, so I didn't want to mess around with that.
No.
This time.
It's one of those ones that's in the English lexicon. Just briefly, I was on Reddit today and there was an Ask a Canadian thread about what's a skill we specifically have as Canadians, and somebody just said, I call it cereal reading, like cereal box French, like just being able to read basic labels and instructions in
Yes.
both French and
Yeah.
English. I call it my cereal
Absolutely.
box French. Yeah.
I
It's like,
cannot
yeah,
speak French, but I know enough French words that I can tell you the context of a
right.
paragraph or
Yeah,
something. I'll be like, this is about a house and it's blue and there's
yeah.
something
Most of
about
the
a
time
door.
we can read it, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ask me to read the French paragraph out loud? No.
oh boy.
No, she cannot.
It's embarrassing sometimes as Anglophone Canadians. Yeah. Our accents are not the greatest.
Yeah. Uh, so it means already seen. It's described as the phenomenon of feeling like one has lived through the present situation in the past. It's like living through it again.
Lived through
And it's an
this.
illusion of memory. And despite the strong feeling of recollection, the time, place, and context of the quote unquote previous experience,
Right.
um, it's like uncertain or impossible. Like it feels that way that it would ever repeat in the same way, which is how I thought I felt. And I was like, oh, glad to know I am just like everybody else.
It is weird though, because it feels every time that you're like, how could
Yeah,
this specific, conversation have
exactly.
happened again? And you're like, well, maybe we've
Yeah,
talked about certain things, similar things to similar
right?
people. It's not that far fetched, I guess. But
Approximately two-thirds of, there's different surveys that they reference. Approximately two-thirds of a surveyed population reported experiencing it at least once in their lives. So, like, about two-thirds
oh
of
yeah,
people experience it, some a lot more than others. Uh,
okay,
so, like,
it's
it might not
interesting.
happen very often, but there's people that it happens to a lot, which we'll get into later.
Oh, I felt like most
The
people would have experienced it at least once, but I
I
guess
think
you never know.
so. Well, I guess two-thirds of people that they asked.
Hmm.
And the term deja vu was first used in 1876 by Emile uh, Boirac,
Oh.
a French philosopher whose book, The Future of the Psychic Sciences, included a section talking about the sensation of deja vu.
Ooh, I like that
And
title.
yeah, the future of the psychic sciences. It's
We
pretty
should,
cool.
yeah, we should still call them that. Psychic sciences.
Right?
Makes it sound more legit than like whatever other parapsychology or whatever stupid terms we always have to
Yeah,
use.
I think parapsychology.
Oh. Pardon me.
In this book, it was presented as the reminiscence of memories. And I think this is like a quote from the book saying these experiments have led scientists to suspect that deja vu is a memory phenomenon, and we encounter a situation that is similar to an actual memory, but we can't fully recall that memory. So it
Mm,
sort of feels familiar because we're recalling something that did actually happen.
that
And
makes
continues saying,
sense.
our brain recognizes the similarities between our current experience and the one in the past, and we're left with a feeling of familiarity that we can't quite place.
Right, it's just a bit off. Off.
Yeah, so like kind of saying you can recall certain aspects, but you don't necessarily recall the whole situation. Because there's
Mm-hmm.
different kind of types of deja vu, it sounds like.
Oh.
A lot of stuff they talk about, um, like remembering certain conversation or like a situation, but not remembering the whole context of it. And then if you're put in that situation again, you kind of feel like you've lived through it or
Right.
that kind of things. And then there's people that it's like the full on everything. like I'd say I've experienced, where it's like the whole situation, it's the conversations, it's what you're doing and what everybody else is doing for a certain amount of time. It's not just like one thing of like somebody saying something or
Okay, yeah, like a whole movie scene kind of replays.
yeah, there can be like different extents of how you feel, and
Does
there
seem
is
kind of
no
longer.
exact cause, I guess, but there are quite a few theories, as well as what they've identified as different contributing factors
Oh,
to people
really?
who experience deja vu, which I didn't really know. I thought these were kind of interesting.
Like, how would you even study
So
it? I feel like I'm just like, okay.
there are ways, there's some really weird ways that you can technically induce deja vu,
Oh,
which
boys.
all sound terrible. Yeah.
Oh, no. Make them do the same thing 20 times over.
Yeah, pretty much. Um, so deja vu manifests occasionally as a symptom of seizure auras. So people that experience seizures, normally before their seizure comes on, they have different things that they call seizure auras, and that's different symptoms that they experience. So some people experience deja vu before they have a seizure, which I thought was fascinating.
Huh. That
Yeah.
is weird.
So, some researchers have associated chronic or frequent pathological deja vu with neurological or psychiatric illness as well.
So, like, it happens to them all the
Experiencing,
time? Pathological?
yeah, so there's people that
Oh.
experience chronic deja vu,
Oh my
which is
God.
actually scary. I have one case of it
Yeah, nobody likes
that we'll
reruns.
talk about. Yeah.
Whoa.
Experiencing deja vu has been correlated with higher socioeconomic status, and that they said
Hmm.
that people with better educational attainment, so people have access to better education, also experience higher rates of deja vu, and people that are, I think they said 18 to 25, but like people that are younger also tend to experience deja vu at a higher rate than people over a certain age.
Okay. I
Which,
mean, that one I could
yeah.
almost think of a reason for. I'm like, well, you're older. You don't remember things as easily.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
the socioeconomic status and all that, I'm just like, huh, okay. I don't know about
Right? And
that.
then like better education. I was like, whoa, like I never would have thought. And
Yeah, I
they've
would have just
learned
thought,
all this through different studies that they've done, and surveys with people, about
yeah.
like their specific, like how often they experience it, what kind of deja vu are they experiencing, like how detailed it is, and that kind of stuff.
Crazy.
I guess people who travel often also report deja vu more often. People who frequently watch movies or are better at remembering their dreams are also more likely to experience a deja
Oh.
vu. So
Oh, I
you
would.
should ask Pat if he experiences deja vu, since he never remembers his dreams.
No, he doesn't. That's exactly what I
Yeah.
was thinking. But he watches a lot of movies. So it's
Right? But he
like,
doesn't travel often.
no, not anymore. That's
Yeah,
so
so it's like,
strange.
huh.
I know. And if someone had just asked me what I thought deja vu had to do with, I mean, I guess just think about
You
how,
wouldn't
like,
be like travel,
well,
being young.
I think it's brought on by these triggers. No, but like just the way that everyone says, or when we research like memory and stuff, that every time you pull a memory, it's like you're remembering the memory of that memory almost.
Yeah,
Like
I
it.
have that later on, that it's like
Oh,
every time
okay.
you recall a memory, it's diminished, kind of. Like you're not
Right.
actually. And through that, you can sometimes alter it or start really misremembering stuff.
Yeah. I and you yeah, you definitely kind of think about that stuff when you're like in the true crime realm and thinking about witnesses' memories and recollection and how
Yes.
it can be
Mm-hmm.
relied upon, but not really that reliable a lot of the time. So
Yeah.
crazy. Okay.
I guess migraines have also been associated with deja vu, and in the past, researchers have attempted to find links between deja vu and anxiety, um,
Oh,
which originally they said that there wasn't really any correlations, but later on, with my examples I have, quite a few of those people like suffered from anxiety, and some of them quite debilitating anxiety. So I'm not really
weird.
sure. Like, I think they just don't really know. But they've also
Yeah.
attempted to find links between deja vu and dissociative identity disorder and schizophrenia, but
All of
again,
the
didn't really
things.
find any correlation. Yeah, all of the things.
Well, but at the same time, it's not like we've been doing major studies into this for a long time, have we?
Not, I mean, maybe in the last like 15 to 20 years.
I
Like,
gotta think
since.
it's not like a priority among all the other mental illnesses we have. Not
I
that it's a
don't
mental
think so.
illness. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're having chronic deja vu, it's not
Right.
really life threatening or affecting you day to day. So I think
I would
most
hope not.
people are fine. Genetics may also be a factor for those who experience it, as now we're going to get really sciencey. The LGI1 gene, I think it is, on chromosome 10 is being studied
Oh
for
my
a
god.
possible link, as certain forms of the gene are associated with mild forms of epilepsy.
Oh.
Yeah, so there is people with epilepsy, like obviously like epileptic seizures and stuff, that are experiencing deja vu more often because of their seizure disorder. So they are trying to figure out, like, is one causing the other, or are they both like um correlated somehow?
Mm-hmm.
Um so there's even partial seizures, um which I didn't really look up, but
Sounds like a
um
rabbit hole I could go into.
yeah, so deja vu is reported during seizures, even just partial ones, causing researchers to suspect a link. Um, yeah,
Never
seizures
heard of
scare
that.
me. I've seen somebody have a seizure.
Mm.
It's freaky. Um,
Yeah, I never have, but that I
it was
think of
scary.
like someone you knew.
It was a substitute teacher when I was in middle
Oh shit.
school. Yeah, I don't even remember her name. She barely had like introduced herself. Had just finished taking attendance pretty well, and um it's really bad because the kids in my class were, like, it's a substitute teacher, so they were misbehaving and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And she was getting really mad,
Oh
and
no.
she was like yelling, and then she had a seizure,
Oh my god.
and we didn't understand what was happening.
Shit.
And
She wouldn't even have time
um,
to tell you about it, probably.
no, we had no idea. And yeah, it was really scary. And some of the people that had been like misbehaving and stuff, because she was yelling at them when it happened, like they went home because they thought they had caused it,
Aww.
and were really, really upset and kind of freaked out.
Did she just
I
like
mean, this was like,
collapse?
yeah, she was standing at the front of the class and kind of just started shaking, and then she started like slowly falling, but the front row of desks were all empty, so she like grabbed onto the one front desk and it started sliding, and then it
Oh.
just kept sliding across the floor as she was like falling
Oh gosh. No
and
wonder you guys
stuff.
were like, what the fuck
Yeah.
is happening?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, we were in grade 7, so how old would I have been?
Oh,
7.
okay.
I would have been 11.
40. Wait, in grade 7?
What? 7? Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to remember now.
Yeah.
It's all so long ago.
Yeah,
Yes,
I would have
okay.
been 11. So we were freaked out. Like, we had no idea. We didn't know what seizures were. we didn't know what to do, anything like that. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So deja vu is also associated with temporal lobe epilepsy. And this experience is a neurological anomaly related to epileptic electrical discharge in the brain, creating a strong sensation that an event or an experience currently being experienced has already been experienced in the
Oh,
past.
God.
I forgot how
I think
many
I
times
passed
they
out
said
during that sentence.
experience. Experience currently being experienced has already been experienced.
Oh, my Lord. It makes me feel like I'm on drugs.
Perfect point, because my next sentence is certain medical drug combinations have also been reported to increase the chances of deja vu.
Weird. How the fuck do they, figure
I
that one
think
out?
it's just like if you make yourself a little loopy, because they were talking about certain drugs, but didn't really, other than one that said it was a medication you take while taking, or a medication you take to help with like flu-like symptoms, like flu medication. Didn't really specify what these drugs or drug combinations would be used for.
They don't want people trying it.
Maybe trying to induce deja vu.
With all the other stupid challenges on social media.
Try the deja vu challenge. Chug some flu medication. Chug some Buckleys and then do a handstand.
Bonus points if you cause yourself a permanent mental illness.
Woohoo! So there's also different ways your brain processes memory that also might be causing deja vu for some people, at least.
Okay.
There's something called the split perception explanation. This is when a person experiences a current sensory event twice successively. So these are kind of confusing. So this
like
one is
2 times in a row they experienced something. That's how I interpreted that. I don't know.
No. So this is somebody's brain processing one event as two separate ones at the same time. The first time their brain is processing it briefly, it's kind of degraded or in a distracted sense, and then it's immediately followed by the second perception of that same event where it is processed more fully, and the person their brain is relating it back to the first event and making them feel like they've already lived it, but they lived it just in that moment.
So your
causing the
brain
person
is doing a double take.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
now
exactly.
I'm thinking of it.
I put that at the end of it, my thing, saying kind of like doing a double take. Like you look at something, your brain doesn't quite process it, so then you look back at it and then your brain fully processes it and you're like, whoa.
And I have to put it into words to try and process it with you. That's funny that we've said it the same way.
Yeah, it's causing the person to feel like their current surroundings was experienced twice. Kind of like a double take. So you kind of have to process it twice to fully understand what's happening in that current moment.
Never thought about it that way.
Yeah, and then Wikipedia had some other good ones. These I could not put into my own words for the life of me. So this is what Wikipedia had to say. As far as like memory, research has associated deja vu experiences with good memory functions, particularly people with long-term implicit memory. Recognition memory enables people to realize the event or activity that they are experiencing has happened before. And when people experience deja vu, they may have their recognition memory triggered by certain situations which they have never encountered. Recollection-based recognition refers to an ostensible realization that the current situation has occurred before. So it's kind of like, I don't know, even if you're not haven't ever been in a situation, you kind of know what to do in that situation, or you feel like you may have been in that situation before.
Because you've maybe been in like a similar one or something.
I think so.
Okay, I think I get that.
Yeah. Then there's familiarity-based recognition. So these are all different forms of like memory. It refers to the feeling of familiarity with the current situation without being able to identify any specific memory or previous event that could be associated with the sensation. And thus, encountering something that evokes the implicit associations of an experience or sensation that cannot be remembered may lead to deja vu. So I'd say that's like, if you remember the smell of pizza, you might not specifically think of a certain memory of pizza, but you remember the smell of pizza. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Or it's like a familiarity-based thing. You don't recall a specific situation necessarily, but you recall that that's how pizza smells. Because you
like,
have a familiarity
I've done this
with
before,
the smell of pizza.
or I've smelled this before.
But you aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you aren't necessarily thinking of a specific situation.
Sometimes this is gonna sound stupid, but sometimes I'll just be like, shaving my legs, and this certain brand of like shaving cream, I'll be like, ooh, that brought me back to like, when I first started showering and shaving my legs as a teenager, and it's just like, why? I don't know. Sure, I've used that shaving cream since or whatever, but yeah, it's weird. It'll just be like, oh. But scent and memory, as we know, are just intertwined.
That's one of the biggest ones. For
Crazy.
Sure. Scent memory. This one, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right. It's cryptomnesia. Looks like crypto, like a crypto bro, and then amnesia. Cryptomnesia. Cryptomnesia.
Amazing. I like anything with crypto in the front of it. I just hope it's going to be like cryptic.
I thought you would.
Yeah.
No.
What does that prefix mean? I don't even know, but it's on everything now.
This one's a little weird too. In which information that was learned is forgotten, but is retained in the brain, leading to occurrences where new or different situations may evoke quote-unquote forgotten feelings, emotions, or components, making the new experience feel like it has already happened, but being able to recall a reconstruction of a prior memory. So, I don't...
Okay. It was just making me think of like when you forgot that you knew something, and then you were like, "Oh yeah, that's right, I did know that." So, I think I understand.
Memory is not fixed, and each successive recall of an event is merely a recall of the last reconstruction. So that's kind of what you said. Remembering a memory, you're remembering the last time you remembered it. You're not necessarily remembering the memory itself.
Exactly. Not like you don't get to watch it like exactly as it played out. It's more like you take out an old photo or something and it gets faded every time. No, I don't know.
This reconstruction, however, may now differ so much from the original event that is, though it has never been experienced before, even though it seems similar. So that can like lead to misremembering things.
It's like, do you ever hear there's well, at least one case I can think of, though I can't remember the names, but like a woman, she was like a victim of a sexual assault, I want to say, and in the lineup, or the misidentified the guy and was like, no, I remember that's the guy. And then they later found out through DNA that it wasn't the guy, and she was convinced.
And she went on a book tour with him or something?
Maybe, I don't remember. But it was like, I think it was a pretty famous case.
Yeah, well, it sounds
Watch
bad.
as we try to misremember this. Sorry.
No, I remember she's a white lady. She worked in a church. And the guy that assaulted her was a black man
That
that broke
sounds
into the
familiar.
church. And she picked him out of the lineup, swore it was him, everything. They cleared him. I think it was the Innocence Project or something ended up clearing him
Right.
of charges. And then they went on tour together talking about how, like, it still, even, like, to this day, or the last, whatever I was watching about it, was saying, like, still, when she recalls it happening to her, it's still him that's
Yeah.
doing it to her.
Yeah.
Even
Because
though
now
they've proved it's not.
right. Because
Yeah.
now she's got his face in her head, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's
And
crazy.
she's kind of arguing against eyewitness testimony.
Right. Well, it shouldn't be taken as
Because,
complete truth by itself.
yeah, for
It can't.
sure.
It's not that reliable.
Which I find interesting.
Oh yeah. It's crazy to think that you were convinced that that is your attacker and it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Okay. So this was also from the Wikipedia.
Yes. The ones that always want me to donate.
Yeah. These were still some more explanations on, like, what might be causing deja vu in some people.
Okay.
There was a study done, or I guess this doctor back in 1965, Robert Efron. He worked in Boston's Veterans Hospital, and he proposed that deja vu is caused by dual neurological processing caused by delayed signals in your brain. And Efron found that the brain's sorting of incoming signals is done in the temporal lobe of the brain's left hemisphere. However, signals enter the temporal lobe twice before processing, once from each hemisphere of the brain, and normally they have a slight delay of milliseconds between them. And Efron proposed that if the two signals were occasionally not synchronized properly, then they could be processed as two separate experiences, with the second experience seemingly to be reliving the first experience. So that's like your brain actively not processing stuff in real time properly.
Blame it on the brain. Blame it on the brain.
Not the blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the brain. Isn't that like a...
I don't even know. I'm just referencing like that song. I'm referencing like Prince, who I don't even know that well, but I know he has a song called "Blame It on the
Goose." Got me feeling loose. I can't remember the rest of the song.
Oh my god, I can't even remember who. No, yep. Blame It on the Rain. It's not Purple Rain is Prince. I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Never. Blame It on the Rain might be Milli Vanilli.
No idea.
Wait, who are you singing? That's so funny.
There's a song that features Jamie Foxx called "Blame It on the Alcohol."
Ooh, Jamie Foxxy. Yeah, I was singing Milli Vanilli.
There's also a dream-based explanation where there was 20% of people that responded in a 2004 survey that reported their deja vu experiences coming from dreams, and about 40% of the respondents reported that they came from both reality and dreams. So people felt like they had dreamed like the original scenario of deja vu.
So in their dreams, they felt like they were having deja vu? Or deja vu was like of the dream?
Yeah.
Oh.
Both. So there's people that experience...
Breaking my brain, man!
They feel like they're having a dream about like almost what's to come, but they don't realize it until it happens. And then there's people that experience deja vu within their dreams. Yeah.
Because deja vu based on a dream could be interpreted as a dream premonition.
Yeah.
Which we'll get into. That's so
I
fun.
know, I have a tiny bit. There's that I ran across because I wasn't sure how much you were gonna cover about premonitions.
No, mine's more like a specific case mostly. So yeah,
Oh,
have
okay,
at
cool.
her.
I just have like a couple sentences that said
Yeah.
some researchers, including a Swiss scientist named Arthur Funkhauser. Funkhauser. It's a great name.
Oh my god, bringing in the noise, bringing in the funk.
Yeah, Funkhauser firmly believed that the precognitive dreams are the source of many deja vu experiences. And researchers
Oh.
also connected evidence of precognitive dreams experiences to deja vu experiences that occurred anywhere from 1 day to 8 years later.
Oh.
So,
What is Gordo doing in the background now?
he's playing with a toy.
So much like
He's being a
background noise
ferocious
today.
attack cat. You should
Oh,
see him. He's whipping it around on the floor and rolling
I don't know.
around.
I'm hearing scratching and
Yeah.
batting and I don't know what
He's
else.
so ferocious. You wouldn't believe how ferocious he is.
Meow.
You get that toy. You get that toy.
I saw something the other day that was like dogs. It was like a National Geographic article or something. So I probably couldn't click into it because it wouldn't be free to read, but it was like dogs look up at humans. They're like, humans like their parent or something like that. Whereas like cats look at their humans like they're their kids, and that's why they always have to bring you food like a dead mouse because they think you can't feed yourself and they think you can't do anything for yourself.
They think we're hairless cats.
Funny. They pity
we're part
you.
of
No,
the
I'm just kidding.
pack. Yeah.
They're like,
you
poor little stupid human.
You incapable. Like, I have to lay on you to keep you warm. Like, you idiot.
Ugh, I know when you're feeling sick and I gotta comfort you. The hell, yeah. So funny.
So the last theory I have is something I think I've heard people talk about it before, don't necessarily know a whole lot about it, the collective unconsciousness.
Oh, I love that term. I find it really fascinating.
Apparently, Wikipedia at least said it was a controversial theory from Carl Jung. I don't know if that's controversial.
Carl Jung, okay.
I didn't know that either.
Wildly quoted and I believe
Weird
often
shit.
misinterpreted too. So
yeah,
I don't know. Probably Freud too. I don't remember.
It states that all people have a shared pool of knowledge that has been passed down through generations, and we can unconsciously access this knowledge. And if we can access shared knowledge, then deja vu could potentially be the effect of recognizing one of the collectively stored patterns. That's all it really said, but I can see that because they talk about like when babies are born, they know how to cry to like
the things
that
you just inherently know.
Yeah, so I can see to a point that like maybe you have some sort of like knowledge in there, like evolutionary knowledge. Yeah,
especially when you think about like people's near-death experiences where they come back and they say my whole like worldview was changed and I had so much more what's the word I'm looking for? Like something faith in other human beings, I guess, because you realize that like we're all one, we're all part of one thing, and I am you, you are me, we'll be reincarnated as each other someday, all this stuff, and like everything you do hurts someone else. It's just like that whole thing or whatever.
Yeah, so I can see that one. Like some of these theories and stuff are pretty good.
It's definitely something to think
Where
about,
goes
to ponder anyway.
Yeah. It also on Wikipedia had some like related terms that are all also French. So let's do this. A French lesson.
Ooh.
I'm gonna pronounce all of this wrong, except for "vous." Know how to say "vous."
I just read an Outlander line the other day. Jamie, oh, no speak French, is it? To the Indians. I mean the Native Americans. They're just pretending. Okay, hit me with them. I want to know. Have I heard these before?
There's jamais vu.
Oh, never seen.
Yeah, you got it. I'm testing your French. Let's go.
I think I have heard that one maybe like once in my life.
Yeah. It's any familiar situation which is not recognized by the observer. Which I was like, oh, shut up, French. The observer does not recognize this situation.
Okay.
Those
Which
bald
I
headed
don't
guys.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't necessarily.
Yeah, I've never had this feeling.
No, it's often described as the opposite of deja vu and involves a sense of eeriness and the observer's impression of seeing the situation for the first time, despite rationally knowing that they may have been in the situation before. I don't really understand that.
I wonder if it's like, you know how you're like driving home or something. I know you have a very short commute, you bitch. No,
Yeah.
But like they say, what you get like that driving blindness sometimes, where people don't remember what they thought about or did coming home. Like I wonder if it's like when you're driving sometimes, and then you look over and you see something that you haven't really. You're like, I drive this way all the time, but I never really noticed that thing. Like I wonder if it's like something like that kind of feeling.
Yeah,
But
I didn't really get it. That one had the least explanation from some of these.
Yeah.
There's also deja vu, meaning already lived, and it's an intense but false feeling of having already lived through the present situation. And recently it has been considered a pathological form of deja vu. So this is kind of where we get into people experiencing chronic deja vu.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because however, unlike deja vu has behavioral consequences. So patients with deja vu often cannot recall that this feeling of familiarity is not real. And because of the intense feeling of familiarity, patients experiencing deja vu may withdraw from their current events or activities, and patients may justify their feelings of familiarity with beliefs bordering on delusion. So like they don't understand that they're experiencing like deja vu or something similar to it. They really think that they've like lived through it all before. So then they withdraw from everything because like there's nothing exciting, I guess.
Strange.
They feel like everything's already happened.
Right. So you're like in a play of your own life or something, and you feel like you're just going through the motions.
Like ultimate Groundhog Day.
Oh no. Yes, the Groundhog Day style.
But it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing every day. It's every experience you're having feels like it's already happened.
It's like
not
that.
like you're doing the same thing. Yeah, it's very scary.
Seems like it would be very scary, yeah.
There's also presque vu, meaning almost seen. It's the intense feeling of being on the very brink of a powerful epiphany, insight, or revelation without actually achieving the revelation. Some of these are so specific. I'm like, didn't know there was names for these.
It's just a fancy way to say you're deja vu edging, or what? I don't really understand that definition.
The feeling is often therefore associated with a frustrating, tantalizing sense of incompleteness or a near completeness. I summarize that as, and I think the article might have said something along the lines of like something or always feeling like something is on the tip of your tongue, like you're just waiting, and then that feeling of, oh, hold on, now this is gonna drive me crazy, I can't, what's the word, and just being
Just
stuck
fucking
in that
did
feeling.
that 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I totally get it.
But you're always stuck in that feeling. It doesn't go away.
Oh.
Where there's always, which I think would also be terrifying.
Oh, so annoying.
Yeah.
I already have a terrible memory, so feeling like something's on the. You start a sentence and then I'm like, what is that word? I'm like, wait, shouldn't this be happening when I'm like 55, 60 at least? No. Oh, by the way, National Geographic told me my brain starts shrinking at age 40, so let's have that to look forward to.
Can't wait. Yeah.
Here, do this exercise to stop it. And then you click on the link and it's like, paywall, you can't read this article. I'm like, why do I get your stupid emails then? I don't know.
Unsubscribe. I think I unsubscribed.
But then sometimes they have really cool pictures because it's National Geographic.
Oh, yeah.
I do like their emails. Yeah, it comes to my work email, so it's kind of fun.
There's also Deja Rev, or Reeve, which means already dreamed. You know, there's a circ. There's a circ thing that's like Rev, Reeve.
Yes, no, we went to a show in Vegas that was called La Rev, and it was like Cirque du Soleil, and it had water things and
that's pretty cool.
Aerial acts. Oh, it was very cool. Like that. Oh, like when we went to that Beatles one, that was so cool too. It was like,
it went by so fast though.
True. Yeah, I think that one was
so fast.
Shorter than La Rev.
I think so. I feel like it was pretty short.
Gotta do another.
Yeah. This is the feeling of having already dreamed something that is currently being experienced, like a dream vision kind of thing.
Because I do have recurring dreams. But they're usually just that
I don't
late.
know if that's necessarily that, or if it's like dreaming about something that already happened to you. I don't really get that one. That one's all that said about it.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's a little confusing. Then there's the last one is Deja entendu, meaning meaning literally, entendu, meaning already heard. And it's the experience of feeling sure about having already heard something, even though the exact details are uncertain or were perhaps imagined.
Oh my god, me listening to every podcast. Have I heard this one already? Literally this story or this episode sometimes. I'll be like, wait.
I'm sure I've heard this story before.
Well, sometimes it's not marked as like, played, nope. But I listen to it somewhere else. So that I feel real crazy. Wait, I have heard this.
That'll do it.
I know, I was like listening to some Drinking the Kool-Aid today, and then I thought it went to the next episode. But I guess it maybe went to my next unplayed episode of theirs on Spotify, because I was like, why are they talking about it being April? This is not right. I gotta look at what episode I'm listening to here.
So the first story I have is, I don't have a name, but he was interviewed quite a bit, and there was quite a few articles that were talking about his story. Okay. This one I grabbed is from the BBC, and it was the story of this 23-year-old British man who experiences constant deja vu, which they believe it, through research and talking to him, it was triggered by like severe anxiety. I kind of said that they hadn't really found correlation between anxiety and deja vu. In his situation, they have.
An extreme case, maybe.
Yeah, this one's pretty freaky. He's been studied by scientists from the UK, France, and Canada, and his condition is described as so persistent that he avoided watching television, listening to the radio, and even reading newspapers because he felt like he had encountered it all before. So he literally can't do anything. Yeah.
No. So like if you went to like read a new book or something?
Yeah, nothing. Like he can't experience anything new basically.
Fucking Gordo.
Gordo.
She's just
I know,
describing my
between
hell.
him and the cat hair, like, stuck to my face.
Fucking hell, man. Bloody hell. Everything's conspiring against us to record the rest of this.
Right. So he reported experiencing these symptoms early in 2007, shortly after starting university. He had a history of feeling anxious, particularly in relation to contamination, which was leading him to wash his hands very frequently and to shower 2 to 3 times per day. So like OCD behaviors as well. And his anxiety worsened around the time that he began university. And his anxiety and then low mood led him to take a break from university, and that's when he began experiencing deja vu. His recollection of these early episodes was that it would last for minutes, but could also be extremely prolonged.
Oh.
For
Minutes
example,
even sounds long.
Right? It probably feels awful.
Well, yeah.
For example, while on holidays in a destination that he had previously visited, so somewhere he had been before, he reported feeling as though he had become trapped in a time loop. He reported finding these experiences very frightening. After the holiday and stuff and his break, he returned to university in 2007 and described the deja vu episodes as becoming more intense. He then, for some reason, decided to take LSD. And from then on, the deja vu was fairly continuous. So he's now basically stuck.
Trying to joggle something loose. Something was already fucked up. I don't know.
But it made things significantly worse because now it's basically constant.
Now he's getting acid flashbacks about his deja vu.
Maybe. Yeah, he worked with this cognitive neuropsychologist, talked about his history and everything. They determined through a bunch of tests and stuff that he was otherwise completely healthy. Yeah, they said that his brain and everything is otherwise functioning, but it's completely traumatized by this constant sensation that his mind is playing tricks on him. For minutes and sometimes even longer. He feels like he would be reliving experiences. Yeah.
So bizarre.
The doctor that worked with him said, quote, there was one instance where he went to get a haircut, and as he walked in, he got a feeling of deja vu, and then he had deja vu of the deja vu, and he couldn't think of anything else, and probably had to leave.
I think we have to call that quadruple vu.
Inception vu?
Oh no.
Deja vu within the deja vu?
I seen this shit before, y'all.
Damn. But for 8 years, he felt trapped in this time loop. The more distressed he became by the experience, the worse it would seem to get. Again, the brain scans showed completely normal, so suggesting that this was something psychological rather than a neurological condition. And while this case on its own does not prove the link between anxiety and deja vu, it is an interesting question for further study, the doctor says. And unlike many other memory problems, deja vu seems to occur more in young people. This is where I had it. People first experience deja vu at the age of about 5 or 6 or 7, and it happens most often between the age of 15 and 25, before tailing off as people get older.
I wonder, could you even ask people younger than 5 how if they've experienced
maybe
deja
not.
vu?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Might be hard, but it's interesting to think that there's specific ages that are more susceptible to it.
Yeah. There's a Dr. Akira O'Connor, a psychologist from the University of St. Andrews, who believes that in most cases, the momentary misfiring of neurons in the brain is what's causing these false connections. She or he says one idea is that deja vu is a sort of brain twitch. Just as we get muscle spasms or eye twitches, it could be that the bit of your brain which sends signals to do the familiarity and memory is firing out of turn.
Oh.
So that's kind of
Okay.
what I talked about before, about like maybe your brain's just not processing what it's seeing properly every
Mm-hmm.
once in a while.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, that doctor says that none of the current theories definitively solve the mystery of deja vu. Partially, as you kind of said, it's really fleeting and spontaneous nature, making it really impossible to reliably study in lab conditions.
But kudos on them for trying, honestly.
Yeah,
'Cause-
they have determined certain ways to do it, I guess. He says that the methods of trying to induce deja vu are pretty crude. We've
Mm.
used hypnosis and experiments using lists of words.
Oh
This
my
sounds
god. Trigger
terrifying.
words.
Another method is called caloric stimulation, and this
Oh.
just required squirting warm water into people's ears. Which,
What?
great. I thought that was so bizarre. I was like, you can squirt warm water into people's ears and give them deja vu? Okay.
Why is
I thought
that
that was
called
so.
caloric stimulation? I thought it was going to be like
I have
stuffing them with
no
cake.
idea. Yeah, right?
What?
Uh,
Okay.
he said
Okay.
it's meant to deal with various problems like vertigo, but one of the common side effects is deja vu. And people have suggested it's because the ear canal is near the temporal lobe, which may control it, meaning deja vu.
Whoa.
So, yeah, so it'll give, like, squirting water in the ear will give them vertigo, but it also can sometimes, one of the side effects of that is deja vu, I
So
guess?
if it can fuck with your balance and stuff, your inner
Yeah.
ear shit, I can see it. Why not? Why not?
Um, yeah, so this doctor, he has encountered cases of chronic deja vu before, with some patients even insisting that they had already met him because of the deja vu. He
Oh.
said people greet you like an old friend, even though they've never seen you before. And some of these people are on Skype on the other side of the world, but it's still that same feeling.
Weird.
And he says since news of this 23-year-old man with chronic deja vu appeared in newspapers, there's different like people that are coming forward with it. He said, I've had people from Australia and America emailing me. It appears to be something quite rare, but there are people who say they're experiencing that, or that they went through a period of it, or know someone who has.
Wow.
And then partway through the article, on the story, said that some people say I shouldn't investigate it, and that explaining rainbows ruins their beauty. Kind of thing, like you shouldn't. But it's your brain. Like, I feel like you need to investigate it. I don't know.
I'm all for it. It's not harmful, whatever.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. He said, personally, I've always loved getting deja vu, and finding out what causes it just makes the experience more beautiful. I mean,
yeah,
I
I don't
guess
think like
unless you're
if you found
experiencing
out why it
chronic
happened.
deja vu.
Well, if you found out what exactly why it happens, doesn't mean it would like necessarily stop happening. Like we understand a lot of
Yeah,
shit better
exactly.
now that we did, but we still do it. We're like, now we know how babies are made. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I do have one more story. This one's a lot shorter. This
Okay.
was from thecut.com, and it was written by Pat Long, who herself suffers from epileptic seizures, and she
Oh, okay.
experiences deja vu quite often. So I thought this was kind of interesting perspective for the article she wrote. She said that she gets these epileptic seizures from a growth and eventual removal of a lemon-sized tumor from the right-hand side of her brain.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn.
Before her diagnosis, she was fit and healthy. She said, until that is the afternoon that I woke up on the kitchen floor with 2 black eyes after suffering my first recorded seizure. Seizures or fits occur after an unanticipated electrical discharge in the brain, and they're usually preceded by something called an aura, which I touched on briefly.
Right.
A sort of minor foreshock lasting up to a couple of minutes before the main event begins, and the nature of the aura differs greatly from patient to patient. Some people experience synesthesia, which I think is where you can, is that where you can like taste stuff?
Yeah.
Or,
Well, all your senses can get mixed
yeah,
up, or they're like, I, I can
I can,
see what, yeah, I can see what your name tastes like, or something one Redditor
yeah,
said.
yeah, so they could experience that. They could experience extreme euphoria. She said people even orgasm at the onset of a seizure,
Huh.
which I had never heard before.
No. But
It
honestly,
was like,
doesn't completely surprise me somehow.
I know, it was like, yeah,
I don't know. I've heard it called the petit mort, the little death, the
yeah.
orgasm. So who knows what the fuck happens
Um,
with your synapses and shit.
yeah, she said in her article, though, mine aren't nearly as exciting sounding, being distinguished by sudden shifts in perspective, a rapidly increased heart rate, anxiety, and the occasional auditory hallucination. Um, but she says by far the most significant trait of my aura is the striking sense of having lived through that precise moment before at some point in the past, even though I never have. Um, she says during my
That you
most
know
intense seizures, right?
of. Yeah.
During my most intense seizures and for a week or so afterward, this feeling of precognition becomes so pervasive that I routinely just struggle to discern the difference between lived events and dreams, between memories, hallucinations, and the products of my own imagination.
That's
Um,
rough. It's confusing enough when you like get drunk and don't remember something happening. I can't imagine
that's how
being
I
like,
felt too reading this. I was like, oh, damn.
yeah, you're like, what? Did that really happen, or was that just in my dream? Yeah, very unsettling.
Um, she says, I don't remember deja vu happening with any kind of regularity before the onset of my epilepsy. Now it occurs with varying degrees of magnitude, up to 10 times a day, whether as part of a seizure or not. So I was like,
Oh
damn, 10 times a
no.
day.
Yeah, I wonder if
Um,
she can get on that. The I remember the one case over the little, really little kid, toddler, who had so many seizures, and the only thing that could stop their like hundreds of seizures a day was some sort of CBD medication.
oh, yeah.
I was like, that's crazy. So cool that
Yeah.
they find that stuff out. Try it out, lady.
Um, yeah. She continues saying, I can find no pattern to explain when or why these episodes manifest themselves, only that they usually last for the length of a pulse before vanishing.
Hmm.
She was talking to the same doctor that talked to that 23-year-old guy. There's like a Dr. Mulan, or
Okay.
Mulin. This is her saying what that doctor told her. I spoke to one woman who said that her feelings of deja vu were so strong that they were, that for her they were exactly like autobiographical memories.
Damn.
Some of the things that happened to her were quite fantastic. She'd have memories of taking helicopter flights, and these memories were hard for her to overcome because she had to spend a long time trying to work out whether something had happened, like, or not. Um, so like her deja vu was so. The doctor was telling her about another case of a patient she knew where her deja vu was so severe that she couldn't distinguish what her real life was or not.
Huh. Like a
Which I
false
thought was kind of
memory.
interesting. Yeah,
That
sort of.
maybe Sorry, I'm like
Um,
really trying to process it. That's all. I feel like I'm so quiet that I'm
yeah.
just like, okay, that's very
And I
interesting to
think I
think
left
about.
it out of the other story, but the doctor, like, there's more in the articles, of course. Like,
Oh yeah.
um, there was one of the doctors that said that they had a patient that when they were doing one of the surveys, they kept them around because they were asking people, "Oh, how often in the last 30 days did you experience deja vu?" And they were like, "Yeah, most people said 2 to 3 times." Which I think is also very high. Like, I feel like maybe once a year, like two to
Yeah,
three
it's
times a month
I
seems
would say
quite high.
rarely. Yeah, if you were to poll me about
Yeah.
it, I would say rarely or sometimes.
Um, and one of the people they were interviewing said that they had experienced it 12 times that week. And they were like, "You stick around for after the survey. We need to talk to
Yeah.
you more." Uh,
Sorry, my phone. Oh,
um,
that's how they figured out the
the
chronic.
I think so, yeah. The last little thing I had was how she closed out her article, saying the night before completing this piece, I had another seizure. The deadline had clearly been on my mind as I suddenly had an intense memory of sitting down to write these closing sentences. And when I regained my composure enough to read the finished article the next day, there was nothing but blank space. It was another illusion, and now I'm actually typing this conclusion. It is, to borrow a famous solipsism. I don't know what that means. Like deja vu all over again. So she like
What was
had
that
deja
word?
vu.
Oh, sorry.
Uh,
Deja vu
it
all
looks like
over again.
solipsism.
I don't
I
know.
don't
Yeah.
know.
Deja vu. What the
But yeah, so
hell?
she had deja vu about writing the closing to her article, and then thought she had written it. Then the next day, when she opened the article,
No.
went, "Oh, I didn't write it," and then wrote
That's
it.
fucking annoying.
I
Thought
was
I
like,
finished this
"What?"
work. Didn't.
Right? Yeah.
Oh.
Uh,
Yeah, I'd be so
yeah.
mad.
Right? I thought that was kind of interesting. I was like, oh, she had deja vu, like, while writing the article about having deja vu.
Yeah, for some of these people, it sounds almost debilitating. I have chronic deja vu. I'm a
The
chronic
one
deja
guy,
vu
yeah.
sufferer. Yeah, like they need a
Yeah,
support
there
group.
was a couple other little anecdotes about, like, this one woman, I think it was like an elderly couple. She's like, yeah, my husband won't watch anything on TV because he can guess the plot of everything because
What?
he's seen it all before. Like he just can perfectly guess the plot of
No.
everything. It was like,
No.
Jesus, that would be terrible.
That's
Like,
gotta be some sort of ESP, though. Come on.
I
Every
don't know, but then
plot.
they talk about,
Ugh.
like, the one I talked about, that kind of feeling constantly, like, causes people to kind of get depressed and like withdraw from like doing things and
Yeah,
stuff because
sad.
that, yeah, there's no like joy in it. There's no sense of like learning. Then the 23-year-old guy, he had to drop, I think he like stopped going to class and basically couldn't do anything for those
Oh,
8
yeah.
years because like in school he felt like everything had already been taught to him.
It
um
seemed like school triggered him, honestly. You said it started when he went to
yeah,
university or something, right?
yeah, his anxiety got really bad and then he left. And then when he came back, he took LSD and then it got
Oh,
worse.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
That probably didn't help. Not gonna
I don't
lie,
think
but
so, because that
okay.
turned the deja vu into chronic deja vu, it seems.
Well, sometimes it's fun and you want to try it, though. I get it. He's just like anything. Maybe he needs to just do like
Yeah.
a what are all the fun new hallucinogenics that are all trendy now, like the peyote and the is it
Oh,
DMT?
ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca, that's the one. Yeah, that like
Yeah.
people they go on like set up specific vacations where they're like, and then we had to detox first, and then we get to do the trip. And
Hmm.
the guy from We're Here to Help,
Yeah.
Gareth Reynolds, was just like, and I couldn't get deep enough the first time, so I had to take multiple ayahuasca hits or whatever. And I was like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds intense.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was like a whole episode,
Gordo's.
dude.
I know. I was like, my notes were 7 pages.
Oh, really?
Gordo's just laying on the floor, half like asleep now.
He's
like, I'll tuck her down.
squatulated. He's yes, squashed on the floor. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break and see about some premonitions. A little different, but still sort of the same. No.
Yeah.
Still
Fun.
creepy.
Witchcraft, the occult, extremist beliefs, murder. Tune in to Rogue Darkness each Friday and join host Raven as I uncover horrific crimes committed under the misconceptions and misunderstandings of witchcraft and other belief systems. I'll cover a wide range of crimes involving ritualistic killings and extremist beliefs to cult persuasion and supposed possession. Anything and everything that borders the line of horrifying. There's always 3 sides to a story. Side A, Side B, and then the truth. Let's uncover the truth together and explore the darkness of mankind, one crime at a time. Available wherever you get your podcast fix, simply by searching Rogue Darkness.
We're back.
Me dog isn't. He's retreated to my bathroom floor. I was like, where's he gone? Oh, wherever it's coolest.
Yeah, a dog did that at work today. It just fully laid on the cold floor with its legs
Yes.
spread eagle like a snow angel. It was just like, and I walked past
Crotch
the
down.
lady and was like, yeah. I was like, oh, he's enjoying the cold floor, and she's like, yeah.
And that's it. Yeah, he was on the carpet out here in front of the room, but now he's on the tile floor in the master bathroom. Because
Yeah.
it was kind of rainy again today, so we turned the air conditioning off, and then he gets very easily.
Yeah, he's pretty fluffy.
Oh my god, he's fucking Sir sheds a lot this year. Sir sheds a lot. Like, never have I ever felt that stupid joke so hard that people like Akita owners being like, yeah, they shed twice a year for 6 months at a time. And I'm like, but they do. Like, I'll like vacuum the floor and then he like lays on it and then he gets up and there's like dog hair, just like tufts of it that were just like hanging off him. Even like I brush and I brush and I brush him.
It's like Gordo. Gordo, I brush him, it'll never stop.
Yes.
Every time you swipe, it's full.
Constantly. They're just so floofy.
Yeah. Need to get a little cat tunnel that just like vacuums the cat and they just walk through it and he can just make it a closed donut that he can't escape, that just vacuums him constantly.
Right. There's got to be a better way. Yeah, sometimes I pick him when he's outside on the deck, and then like I think I got a picture of our one little squirrel that I call Squirrely Dan that comes to the bird feeder, picking up a tuft of his hair. I'm like, see, birds and squirrels and stuff love all this thick hair for their nests.
Absolutely.
Oh, to say, sorry, Daniel. I don't know why, but he said he hates the squirrels around his house or something. We talked about Squirrely Dan. Maybe because they get into the garden. I forgot to ask.
Oh, yeah.
I'll have to clarify if he's just a squirrel hater. No.
I don't really have any squirrels here.
Well, they eat a lot of the
I
bird
get quite
foods,
a
so
few.
Pat would scare them off sometimes, but they're just so cute.
Yeah, I have quite a few birds. Like, I'll hear the birds in the morning, like in the tree and stuff, which is nice.
I mean,
if it's not 4 in the morning.
Yeah, they don't fight with the birds. The little sparrows go in there, they get their feed, and then the squirrel goes in, and then we have a couple of territorial magpies that'll come around, and they will shove the other people off. They're dicks. They're like, excuse me, bullying this crow or some other bird one day where I was like, what the fuck? And they're like, get out of here, rah, rah. And they're like circling him in the trees and stuff until he like left.
Wow.
I know. We're like, dude, this bird seed is for everyone. Don't be a bully.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't shut my door up. Okay. So, next on Premonitions and Deja Vu Phenomenon, some premonitions about a tragedy. So it is going to be a little trigger warning, sad.
Okay.
Stupidest trigger warning ever. But like, you know, think of it more like our true crime cases. So.
Okay, yeah.
There might be some death. That's all. So I'm just giving a little heads up. But mainly going to talk about something that's just called the Aberfan disaster or Aberfan incident, tragedy, which occurred in Wales. No, good. It's the name of like the town in Wales that it happened in.
Oh, okay.
Town, city, I'm not. But like, yeah, it goes back to the 60s. So in Wales in 1966, in October of that year, there was one morning where a little girl, oh gosh, and Welsh names and things. Just gonna go ahead and say, don't think I could have even looked up a pronunciation for a name that's spelled Eryl, probably Errol, something like that. Errol May.
Okay.
I don't know Welsh names, and
yeah,
you know, language is notoriously tricky, but
yeah, for sure.
I do have one name later on where I was like, oh, that's the same name as the Taskmaster guy's last name. So I think it's pronounced Davis. Anyway, a little girl named Errol Mai told her mom something sort of sinister sounding. She said, "Mommy, you must listen. I dreamt I went to school and there was no school there. Something black had come down all over it."
Oh. That'd be pretty creepy.
Yeah. And this was like, if I recall, about 2 weeks earlier, she had something to her mom about she wasn't afraid of dying. And she was like, "You're a little girl. Why are you saying that?" kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't bode well, we'll say. No, but it is sad, though.
Kids say some pretty creepy shit.
I used to write down the weird things that Rain would say on, like, Post-its, because I'll be like, I'm never going to remember this. And,
yeah,
like,
it's a good
it was
idea.
just starting to get into the videotape everything. Like, yeah, my dad had, like, VHSs and stuff, but, you know, it's not like I didn't have pictures of her at every month like some, you know, people have nowadays. Not that there's anything wrong with that. So Aberfan, which was a place adjacent to another, or this one's tough to pronounce, Merthyr Tydfil. Can we go with that? Tydfil. Tydfil. At least it's not the longest place name in the world. I think that's Welsh. It's like blah, 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 blah. So this is roughly 20 miles northwest of Cardiff, which is the capital of Wales. And in this area, coal mining was a huge industry. So coal had been called a lifeblood industry by some of the sources. So definitely communities depended on it there in southern Wales, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a little bit more on it with some sciencey jargon. Ooh. With the top quality steam coal, bituminous, laying in large quantities just below the valleys and hills. They took advantage of it. And why not when you're rich with resources?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lord knows. If there's just something there, people will find a way to get at it. So opened in 1875, Aberfan's Merthyr Vale Colliery became the biggest pit in the South Wales coal field, generating huge quantities of waste. Yeah. I guess mining's pretty messy in a lot of the different
Yeah, and like
styles.
dirty and
Dangerous.
oh yeah, they have to go so far sometimes into the earth.
I know there's a lot of coal mine disasters, and this isn't exactly that, but it's
there was just like a
also
recent
not
one
great.
too. Thankfully,
Oh, really?
it didn't. I think the cave-in or whatever just blocked their exit, but the I think it was three miners, they were safe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but they were like however many meters, like 600 meters or something
Oh,
below
God.
the ground. But they had enough food and stuff to last them like a week.
Oh, my
So
God.
yeah, because there's like different like deposits or something they have in there that for like
Okay.
safety rations and everything that they're supposed to have for
Really?
different types of collapses. Yeah.
It
And I
reminds
think
me of
they've already gotten
another
out.
case. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think there was one where they got trapped in due to a fire, and there was people
Oh.
still alive down below, but like the people up top were like, nobody's down there. We can't rescue anybody till the fire stop, and they just like put a manhole cover on it or something. I don't know. I don't remember the
Damn.
details. It was on one of those disaster podcasts I listened to where I was like, this is fucked up. Where people were like, I just remember they were like still alive underground in a mine with a fire, unable to get out. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, that's so scary. Like
So
people that put
fucking
their lives
scary.
on the line like that for jobs.
Yeah, these are inhumane conditions. Come on. Like, we shouldn't be doing this shit.
Yeah,
Don't
it's
get me started on
scary.
like strip mining. If you ever read,
Yeah.
there's like a John Grisham novel where they talked about how horrible that shit is. Where they're just like, we'll just blow up this mountain, sort of, or whatever. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not great. In this case, 50 years of waste was dumped in some what they call spoil tips on the flanks of Merthyr Mountain, sitting above Aberfan. So it's like they pile up the debris from the
Oh,
mining
jeez.
endeavor. It's
Avalanche, anybody?
it's a whole lot of something they call slurry, yeah.
Oh.
Not great, Bob. The geological makeup was largely sandstone in this area, dotted with underground springs, making it less than fully stable, in my opinion, or as we'll see. But this one fateful Friday in October, a heavy rainfall caused extra catastrophic damage, and then a slide of debris poured down the mountain, thundering down the spoil tip, like basically the top of the spoil tip thing fell, I guess.
Wow.
And it reached to a speed of up to 130 kilometers or 80 miles per hour. And then the mass reached a depth of 12 meters or 40 feet when it hit the bottom, and it actually hit Aberfan, the town, and slammed into the Pantglas Junior School. where school had just started for the day. So it was like this, they called it a junior school. I think it's like an elementary or maybe like a middle school. Like,
Probably.
yeah, younger students.
It reminds me, I think I covered like it wasn't, I think, due to mining or anything, but there was like, or maybe it was. There was an avalanche I did. It was a while ago now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it was like a thaw freeze kind of thing had like warped the side of the mountain, and it did the same thing. It like came down and it like wiped out the town and stuff. Yeah, and it was like early in the morning.
Oh, fuck. Those cases, man. Landslide shit. Yeah, I remember I talked about the Frank slide one. I don't remember which one you did now. Ugh, so scary though. It's just like terrifying.
Or maybe that's the one you did. I did something else. Yeah, I did something.
Sometimes I'm like, I don't know. Somebody talked about this.
Yeah.
There was miners involved in the one I talked about, the Frank slide in Alberta here. I remember that. God, I should listen to our back catalog one of these days.
Yeah, God, don't we listen to our own episodes?
Sometimes Spotify will put it on because when you're done listening to like, oh, the latest episode of from Sinisterhood, and I'm driving or something, I can't change it. It'll just put on the latest episode of whatever else you follow, and sometimes it's our podcast. And I'm like, no.
I'm scrolling back. I'm trying to find it. Hold on. Because I remember the picture.
Oh, really?
I'm sure the picture was of the mountain. That's what I chose for the thumbnail. I'm positive.
Oh. Yeah, it could have been the one where I talked about the Frank slide. Okay. So unfortunately, yeah, it was very early. It was early in the morning on this one too, or just as school had started. And many people in the town of Aberfan heard like an ominous rumble, or what some sources said sounded like a jet or something, like a roar. I don't know, a dull roar of the collapse happening. But between the speed of how it happened and there was mist also on the day, they couldn't really see what was happening. There was no way to prepare for it, obviously.
Yeah, it's just moving too fast.
No, exactly. But yeah, like I said, it slammed into the school, and the people on the scene, all the residents and citizens rushed over to try and help dig out any survivors, but precious few would be recovered alive, unfortunately. In total, there was 116 students and 5 teachers killed on impact at the school. And I think in total, with the deaths in town, it was 144. So it was pretty bad.
Jeez. Yeah.
For like a small city area, I expect everybody was almost affected somehow. Like knew somebody, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, I hate to think of those ones where like multiple families are affected or multiple people in a family die. I mean, so it's like overwhelming grief. People are wondering if that could have been prevented, you know, all those sorts of questions that go around after these sort of things happen. And yeah, probably like with a little prevention or caution, it could have avoided somewhat of a disaster, like in many cases. There was a National Coal Board chairman. I guess his name was Lord Robins. I didn't re-look it up after the first time I wrote it down. So I was like, that's a weird name. I could be wrong. I was wrong about a different name later on, where I went to double check it and I realized I totally misspelled it as Bryce when it was Boyce. Anyway. But he said no, it couldn't have been stopped. But there were others that had brought up concerns about safety in the area. There were other spoil tip slides that had happened in the area before. And a local government engineer had expressed concerns and written to the National Coal Board about tip number 7, which was the one that collapsed, and its proximity to the school. So that guy knew it was a danger, and I think most people did.
I mean, piling up the debris up the side of a mountain pretty well and stuff.
Yeah.
Does not seem very smart to me.
I think it was just so unstable that it just, like, it was like its own little mountain or something. Yeah, and it's just like, come on. People knew in the back of their minds that that wasn't super safe. Like,
Yeah.
So there was a few more people who had some sort of precognition of this event. Quote, one woman, Carolyn Miller, had a vision of the disaster on the evening of October 20th. So that was the night before, I guess. In her mind, she saw an old schoolhouse nesting in a valley, then a Welsh miner, as in coal miner, then an avalanche of coal, sorry, hurtling down a mountainside. At the bottom of this mountain of hurtling coal was a little boy with a long fringe, like bangs, looking absolutely terrified to death. Then for a while I saw, quote unquote, rescue operations taking place. I had an impression that the little boy was left behind and saved. He looked so grief-stricken. I could never forget him, and also with him was one of the rescue workers wearing an unusual peaked cap. So she had like a specific image.
Yeah.
And
that's weird.
I know. And then later she thought even weirder because she saw the boy on TV coverage of the tragedy when the rescuers were there digging people out.
Wow.
She saw that same little boy that she'd seen in her vision.
Jeez. That would be creepy,
my mind.
for sure.
Yeah. And there was another instance where, as we would later learn, the day before, an 8-year-old student named Paul Davis, that was the name that I'm like, it's the same as the Taskmaster guy, but it's spelled like Davies. But when he says it, he's also Welsh, and he says it sounds more like Davis. So I'm just like, Paul Davis. And this little boy, Paul, had also drawn a picture of a mass of figures digging at a hillside, accompanied by the words, "The End."
Wow. Okay, thank you.
Right out of a horror movie. I would not love to see that.
The End.
But sadly, like, for some of the people that predicted it, like most of the predictions now that I have done the research were adults, but like him, he was one of the children and then he died. And I'm just like, that is so fucking sad. He like saw it coming.
That's really creepy.
I know. It's like Babadook or it's a very horror movie like in my mind.
But like at the same time, what's the point? What's the point of seeing your death the night before
without enough information to do anything about it? Oh, exactly. Yeah. And that's the theme here. Unfortunately. Because there was a few others. So like there was a lady named Mary Hennessy who had a dream before the disaster. Quote, she had dreamed about Aberfan the night before the tragedy. In her dream, there were a lot of children in 2 rooms. Eventually, they moved to a larger room where they seemed to be playing in small groups. At the end of the room, there were long pieces of wood or wooden bars. The children were trying somehow to get over the top or through the bars. I tried to warn someone by calling out, but before I could do so, one little child just slipped out of sight. I myself was watching from the corridor. The next thing in my dream was hundreds of people all running to the same place. The look on people's faces were terrible. Some were crying and others holding handkerchiefs to their faces. It frightened me so much that it woke me up. End quote.
Wow.
I know, it was like detailed sometimes.
I don't think I've ever dreamed of like a natural disaster.
Generally, no, right? They're much more mundane. than that.
I mean, I have weird dreams. I've told you about them before, but
Oh, I know you have the recurring one, like the zombie.
from getting cut. Yeah, I have one where I get cut in half by a serial killer.
Oh, fuck. So that's not the same one where the torso's cut in half, crawling after you.
No,
like
that's
the zombie.
me. I'm the torso.
Oh.
I'm the torso. Yeah.
I don't.
It's not
Why?
something crawling after me. It's me. Yeah, and it's like some weird farm or something, and I drag myself up to the road, and I think help is coming, and the car pulls up, and it's actually my captors, and they just take me back, and then I wake up.
It's always a version of that, even though that's like the most horrific one. That's like the fucking horrible true crime case where the lady gets both her arms cut off, which we have not covered. But she survives somehow. But like, it's always you're trying to get out, right?
Yeah, and then I get out, and I've had it so many times. Like, I've probably had it at least 100 times, because once I have it that night, every single time I go to sleep, like for the rest of that night, I'll just keep having that same dream over again.
I hear that's a
like
thing.
That whole night. Yeah. So I now like there's certain ones that I know, like that one, and I think one of the other ones that I know. So once it like repeats a couple times, I can normally like wake myself up.
Oh my god, a couple times?
Yeah, because it'll cycle through a couple times, and I'll be like, "Hey, wait a minute! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!" And then I'll wake up.
Yeah.
And then
you're almost lucid dreaming. Yeah, you're like this.
Yeah, and then I normally have to like play around on my phone for like half an hour, and then sometimes I can get back to sleep and it won't go. But sometimes if I go to sleep again too quickly, I'll just like go back into it. Yeah.
I wonder. I've heard of the techniques for trying to lucid dream better, where like you draw like a circle on your hand, and then when you're in the dream you can look at your hand, and if the hand has the circle, you know you're awake. I don't know, it was something I heard.
I don't know,
that's the way we dream.
I've only ever been able to do it in dreams I've had like more than 5 or 6 times, like where I can recognize that like I have had this dream more than once. I've never been able to do it in a dream I've only had once.
Right. Yeah, you don't seem to notice those ones are dreams so much. I don't know. Yeah, like I say, mine tend to be similar in the way that you're trying to move and you can't, because it's like the quicksand or like your legs or whatever are incapacitated. But usually mine's just like I wake up. The
Spider-Man running on the spot. Let's go. Woo.
Yeah, usually I just wake up and I'm like, you're just trying to move your legs in the bed and you just had to go pee.
Yeah.
And then I did hear someone talk about a recurring dream they had on a podcast where they were trying to have sex with Emma Watson in their dream and everything kept stopping them. Like they'd get her clothes off and she was wearing more tight jeans. But now sometimes I have dreams where I'm wearing jeans that are too tight to walk, and then I wake up and I'm like, you have to go pee. You just can't move your legs because you're in bed.
I've had a couple dreams before where I went to the bathroom in my dream, and I thought in my dream, God, I better not be peeing right in real life right now. And I've thought that in the dream, like, man, when I wake up, I better not actually pee.
I better not be peeing in the closet like some dick. No, in my dream, if I get to a bathroom, all the toilets are fucking disgusting. That's what happens in my dream. They're unusable.
Damn.
Oh my god, I better go on or I'm actually gonna have to pee. Okay. Okay, so I talked about her dream. So after the tragedy, a lengthy inquiry followed, which finally resulted in some responsibility being taken by the coal board. Yay! That's good. So they took the blame, but then they also appropriated some money from the disaster fund. Boo, that's bad.
Yeah, the fuck?
I know, I hate them so much. I didn't look much more into that. I thought it was going to make me so mad. But it said that they took some of the money allocated for the victims and families. It was supposed to go to them, but they used it to pay to clear the remaining tips, the remaining spoil tips that were sitting up there.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, instead of using your own money to fix the problem that you created, use the money that was supposed to go to the
Yeah.
victims of your fucking problem.
Wow.
Really shitty looking. So they're not the hero of my story, but there are some cool people, which, yeah, we could almost do another episode on some of these guys. So just to kind of close out what happened there, the Merthyr Vale Colliery closed in 1989. And the incident happened in 67, 66. So it was still open for a while.
Yeah.
The Queen had waited 8 days to visit Aberfan after the fact, which apparently pissed people off that she took so long to go there. Even though the one article said that the Duke of Edinburgh went there like the next day. So I was like, isn't that Prince Philip? Like, so your husband showed up and you were just like, la. Anyway. So it didn't look good. So then she went back 3 times trying to save face. And eventually in 2012, they dedicated a new primary school, which I'm like, 2012. It's like 60 years later? What?
That's like 2 generations.
I know. And now a section of the Merthyr Tydfil Memorial Gardens is dedicated to the 144 victims of the disaster.
Wow.
Crazy. So that brings us to something that was birthed out of this sort of adventure and tragedy from the ashes. We're going to talk about something called the Premonitions Bureau. Ever heard of it?
No, but it sounds cool. I like that name. Anything
Right.
bureau.
Bureau sounds so undercover and like top secret, right?
I'm part of
Federal
the bureau.
Bureau of Investigations. There's a subreddit called the RBI. Can you guess what that stands for? The Reddit Bureau Investigation.
Really?
People bring all their questions to it. I might have to bring this one up to some subreddit because with our little gems and stones from Jasper, I think I've told you that Pat thinks that one of them is old black bubble gum that we found somewhere. And I'm like, no, I think we bought all those from a rock and gem store. And that's just
Oh,
a
damn.
weird, shiny, bubbly shaped rock. It's like black
They
and
can
sparkly.
get pretty smooth. Yeah, they can get pretty smooth.
It's not smooth. It's weirdly... Anyway, I don't know what it is.
It's just charcoal bubblegum.
It could... Yeah, like the texture almost looks like charcoal, but then it kind of looks like sparkly. But it's hard, like the rest of my little gems and stuff. And stones. So, like, I might have to bring it to the... There's a subreddit called r/what is this thing? I might have to put it on something like that. Or, like, the gem subreddit. But... Anyway,
Yeah.
that's a mystery in the making. I just keep saying to Pat, why would I pick up bubblegum, dried bubblegum?
Why would I buy dried bubblegum at a rock store?
No, he just went, well, you know, sometimes people would put bubblegum under the tables. I'm like, yeah, I know. That's why I don't touch underneath tables. And also, when has bubblegum been fucking black and sparkly? But I also went looking at all, like, I'm like, black rocks and gems, and nothing looked the same. So now I don't know what the fuck it
Aww.
is. It's literally
mean-
cryptic.
Yeah, I have a black sparkly like heart that's kind of flat.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love the carved
That's
little,
a rock.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have something like that too. Yeah.
It's very, very sparkly though. It looks fake.
Oh, really? Well, some natural
Yeah.
stones and gems are sparkly and have different patterns. Whatever.
Yeah.
We can't get into it here.
Such a visual medium. Hey, the podcast.
I'll have to post a picture of that and also my
Now imagine, if you will, a black sparkly rock. It looks like
and my oh fuck, I keep wanting to call it an orchid. No, my plant, my my dahlia bloomed. I know I talked about it last time because my brother said something. Also, he said that goof, I guess we talked about the word goof and what it meant in Canada, and it's a Canadian prison slang for pedophile. So that's why it's such an insult. I was like,
oh,
shit.
really?
I didn't realize. I think I said it was regional or something, that I had heard it in New Brunswick in the East Coast. And then both my siblings texted me to be like, it's prison slang. I was like, wait, what?
Oh, I've never heard that.
You never been in prison.
No, yeah, damn. I'm missing out.
I heard it on the streets in New Brunswick back in the day. When I was a rough and tumble on the streets gal. No. Okay. So, this Premonitions Bureau, I got some stuff from a source, an article written by Fiona Sturgis of The Guardian, and the article subtitle was How the Aberfan Disaster Prompted One Psychiatrist to Launch a Nationwide Search for Seers. So, this guy, John Barker, was a 42-year-old psychiatrist and superintendent of a large mental hospital in Shropshire. Shrop? Doesn't that make you think of Shellstrop and The Good Place?
Oh, yeah.
And Eleanor.
Yeah.
Eleanor Shellstrop.
Shropshire. It's hard to say.
I know. And is it Shire or Sheer? Because, probably Sheer. Anyway. He was particularly interested in unusual mental conditions or illnesses, and he was also, fun fact, a member of Britain's Society for Psychical Research. Fuck. It's so hard to say.
The psychical research?
Well, I've heard about it in America, and they generally refer to it as the SPR because it's a lot easier to say. Yeah. But yes. Yeah, the British version. So he was fascinated by some patients or children that were sometimes referred to, I don't know if in his time, but whatever. They were often referred to as psychiatric orchids. This is why I have orchids on the brain. Orchids, like the flower. And this was a term coined by a W. Thomas Boyce. And this was the guy that I went to double check his like name and position, and that's when I realized that I had written down Bryce, and that was not a person.
Oh, okay.
I was like, wait. It was just like coming up with like Instagram and stuff, and I was like, I don't think this is the guy I want.
Yeah.
But I guess he's kind of contemporary. I thought he was going to be like an old dead guy, but it said Wikipedia or whatever was like, Boyce is an American pediatrician and professor emeritus of pediatrics and psychology at the University of California, San Francisco. So, smart guy.
Not dead.
Not dead. Not that Wikipedia could tell me. It looked familiar. I was like, okay. But he wrote something called The Orchid and the Dandelion. So as far as what this Barker guy would have known about him, I was a little confused because I thought Barker was a little before his time because he was doing this research in the 60s. And I don't know, this guy's still alive, but whatever. He could have still been alive in the 60s. So this Orchid and the Dandelion, calling children orchids or dandelions, was this guy's way of sorting them by a sort of what I've called strength of mental ability, like sort of how some people have a strong physical constitution and don't get sick. You're like, ah. Oh.
Not
my
me.
My mom was always like, we're hardy peasant stock. That's right. You're probably like royalty, you know? Yeah, all those bloodlines mix and you get those stupid immuno diseases. No.
I do.
You and your rich blood. Just kidding.
Just like frail.
I'm like a Victorian child. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just used to laugh when Mom would be like, "Yeah, you're good. You got a cast iron stomach." I'd be like, "Yeah, I do." Didn't used to puke a lot. So, sorry, this might seem a little tangential, but these researchers were looking into about the orchids and the dandelions. They were looking into why they were seeing some discrepancies, like about 15 to 20% of the kids were experiencing over 50% of the recorded mental illnesses or stresses. And his theory was that it was a blend of some of the nature and nurture that they would receive. Pardon me. Which, of course, that's an age-old argument. But
Yeah.
it's not one or the other, I don't think.
No.
But he specifically said, or it said that he argues that 4/5 of children appear to be dandelions who can thrive in most environments. The remaining fifth are orchids who are more exquisite and unusual and have a higher potential than dandelions. But for this to be realized, they require a particular environment and careful gardening. End quote. That was his words.
Wow. That's
I
such a
know.
weird way to say that people are different.
I know, I don't know when it was written, but it seems kind of an
You're a
insensitive.
dandelion and I'm an orchid. Okay.
I'm an orchid, okay? It does. It seems a little.
4/5 of people have dandelions and I'm an orchid.
Just.
What?
I don't know. Yeah, it's a way to try and categorize people easily, maybe.
The weirdest way I've ever heard.
But, like, I get the concept, you know what I mean? Where they're like, well, I guess obviously people are different and really hard to do those kind of experiments with what happens when you put a kid in this environment. And, like, I've heard of trying to do things where they're like, what happens when kids don't get, verbal, like, people talking to them for the first 2 years of their life? Do they not learn English?
Yeah.
Kind of
They
not,
did
and then
that
they
with
just, like, die.
monkeys.
Yeah. It's just, like, really
Ugh.
traumatic.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry,
As
the
I-
monkeys?
Yeah, they did it with like a study with monkeys.
Oh. Without giving them, like, verbal cues and affection and stuff?
Yeah, they had monkeys in like a they had a group of monkeys and half of them were given, it was like a stand-in for like a mom, one that was like
No.
just basically a roll of like mesh,
God.
like wire mesh with like a
I
face
hate
on
it.
it, and they would just spend all day hugging it.
Oh
And
my
then
god!
yeah, and then something like that, and then the other half of them were given one that was like soft and cuddly and that they could
Aw.
like hug and stuff. And
Like their actual monkey mom.
yeah, it was so depressing as I hugged Gordon up closer, like, no.
I was telling Pat I saw, or I was like, oh, let me scroll this YouTube ad, get rid of it. It's talking about the pandy. Oh, and you touch it and it cuddles you back. And I was like, this sounds stupid. And then I go to skip the thing on my phone and I was like, oh, but it is like a cuddly shaped panda bear. And I was like, actually. Kind of like it. I would hug that panda and it would hug me back.
Yeah.
Oh, this is not an ad. Okay. Okay, yes, that was some of the theories of the Thomas Boyce guy, the orchid and the dandelion author. But back to this John Barker, who comes into play after the Aberfan thing. He studied Munchausen syndrome. As I said, he was a psychologist. Yeah, so he had some specific interests.
Yeah, it was like that came out of left field.
Really? Mm.
Yeah.
Honestly, I like found a New York Times article when I was finishing. I was literally just going like, oh, I'm going to type my notes today. And then ended up finding a bunch of stuff in a New York Times article where I was like, I could probably do another episode on this John Barker guy. He's really interesting. His background and stuff. But so he was also researching for writing a book about people who predicted their own deaths when he heard about the Aberfan disaster. So he was into it.
Jeez. Yeah.
Yeah, he was working on this book called Scared to Death, and then he called the phenomena of people predicting their death psychic death. And I was like, ooh, such a death metal
I
term.
feel like I've heard that before.
Really? I hadn't until I
Yeah.
came to that last article, and I was like, ooh,
Oh.
damn. So he asks a sort of colleague, Peter Fairley, for help. Because he wants more info on predictions. Fairley was a science editor at London's Evening Standard, and they wanted to publish an appeal for more premonitions that people might have had. They wanted to find out if anyone else had had any premonitions about the Aberfan disaster, and so they published a thing in the paper, to which they got 76 replies.
Holy.
Crazy, right, Gordo? You hear him shake himself out. So there was a quote about Fairley in the New York Times article that said, Fairley was a tubby, jovial man who got his big break in April 1961 when he predicted, on the base of little more than a warning to ships in the Pacific and a feeling that something was up, that the USSR was about to launch its first manned spaceflight. Fairley's story ran on the front page of the newspaper. Yuri Gagarin flew into space 2 days later, and Fairley's pay was almost doubled. So,
Wow.
he's a little bit of a predictor himself. And so once they published this appeal for more premonitions, if people had them, there was the one that became of particular interest from a lady named Kathleen Lorna Middleton, to which I said, Kate Middleton?
Yeah.
But then also, some articles had said Linda Middleton, but the New Yorker or the New York Times said Kathleen Lorna Middleton. So I thought, oh, maybe they just got Lorna confused with Linda in some of the things.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Right? So I think her name is Kathleen, but I do know she was a music and ballet teacher living in a place called Edmonton.
Oh no, we copied her name.
Yes, it's referred to online as both a town or sometimes as a suburb of North London. So Greater
Ooh.
London area. Yeah. I mean, if you counted everything that was in the Greater Edmonton area of our city, oh my God, we'd be like the Greater Vancouver area. We're fucking huge.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All these little suburb cities. So this music and ballet teacher, Kathleen Middleton, awoke at 4 a.m. on the morning of the Aberfan disaster, and in her words, awoke choking and gasping and with the sense of the walls closing in.
Creepy.
I know. She knew. And like that one's like barely a prediction. Like at first I read it was on the same day and I was like, okay. But then it was like, oh no, it's a couple hours earlier. But like, you know what I mean? Barely 4 hours before the accident.
Yeah.
What could you do? Kathleen was born in Brockton, Massachusetts, and moved to England with her family during the Depression. Because they were English and it was the Depression. And they'd been more money back there. But if not, she probably would have tried out for like Hollywood or something because she was a talented dancer when they lived in the States. Then she opened her own studio in England at 69 Carlton Terrace and called her students the Mary Carltons. And then they just told a little bit of her backstory, which I thought this little anecdote was interesting. On a winter's day when she was 7 years old, Middleton watched her mother, Annie, frying eggs in the stove. After about 2 minutes and without warning, the egg lifted itself up. It rose up and up until it almost touched the ceiling, Middleton wrote in a self-published memoir. Middleton giggled, but her mother was concerned. She consulted a fortune teller. She was
Damn.
concerned.
It's a flying egg.
What the fuck? I said frying egg, not flying.
Yeah.
She consulted a fortune teller who told her that an egg that flew out of the pan often symbolized a death. A few weeks later, one of
Really?
Annie's best friends, who had recently married, died and was buried in her wedding dress. Oh, Annie was the mother, right. Sorry. I thought her friend was 7 years old and getting married. That was just the start. She would experience premonitions all through her life, and oftentimes a headache would precede, or like some physical ailment where like a headache would come before an earthquake, or she'd see names and numbers appearing in front of her eyes. I cannot say what I really felt or indeed what I feel now, Middleton wrote. I am drawn to these events by what appears to be a blaze of light, an electric light bulb. And one of her students at the school said, she would say sometimes, I just turn it off. I am too busy. I'm too busy, Williams recalled, and she would wave her hand.
I'm too busy for this. I don't have time for this.
Honestly, but I think that's what some like psychics and mediums have to do, to just not have it on all the time, or just be able to tell the spirit to go away, you know? Can't imagine. So John Barker had also had his own supernatural experiences in his life and became drawn to cases of psychic death and people frightened to death, etc. He was exploring that kind of theory. Oh yeah, and that's where I noted the that one wasn't the New York. One of the articles I used, I should say. The Psychiatrist Who Believed People Could Tell the Future by Sam Knight. That was a good source and very cool. But Kathleen became the star student of the Premonitions Bureau, which was officially opened in 1967. And people were encouraged to send in their dreams, you know, their visions if they had one, and they would be monitored for accuracy. So.
Oh, okay. That's good, at least, if, like, they're trying to fact check. Like,
yeah.
Like,
because their scientific background, I think, so they're really like, yeah, I'm interested in this. And he's a psychologist and stuff. He's like, excuse me, it's got to be a thing. So many of the premonitions came to nothing, but Kathleen was surprisingly correct a lot of the time. And John Barker would write her to congratulate her every time she got a premonition right. So I didn't include all of them here, but I started to go off on that tangent. Because there's well, there was a whole article, 6 Premonition Bureau things they, you know, major things they got right, and like I have a little bit more obviously, but like she had basically predicted some big ones like the Robert Kennedy's assassination and stuff like that. Where you're just like, damn, if only they had to listen to you a little bit more.
right?
Because like that was one of the ones where she got like a specific name, where other times if you just see like a plane crash over the mountains, you don't know what to do about it.
You can't can't do much about those kind of ones.
No, you can try, but like because there was a lot of that predicted the Aberfan thing, which is what I first heard about and got me into this, and I was like, oh damn. So so more about that. A quote that said, Barker received 76 replies to his Aberfan appeal. 2 nights before the disaster, a 63-year-old man from Backup in Lancashire had dreamed that he was trying to buy a book. He faced a large machine with buttons, which he thought might be a computer. It's 1967. Sorry.
What? I'm trying to buy a book.
He's trying to buy a book,
kind
but
of-
it now has a screen.
What kind
That's
of
a dream,
is
man.
that?
What do you want from me? What?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I said you're trying to buy a book. That's what you dream about? Attempting to buy books?
Seems like something I would dream about.
Yeah.
He faced a large machine with buttons, which he thought might be a computer. White letters spelled Aberfan on the screen, a word he had not heard before. In Plymouth, the evening before the coal slide, a woman had a vision at a spiritualist meeting. She told 6 witnesses that she saw a schoolhouse, a Welsh miner, and, quote, an avalanche of coal hurtling down a mountainside toward a boy with long bangs. And within minutes of the disaster, a 30-year-old film technician from Middlesex jumped up from her chair, complaining of an earthy, decaying smell, which she recognized as that of death. So just like a lot of little weird ones with that. And after the tragedy, Barker replied to about 60 of these precogs, as I called them. So stupid, Minority Report. But he called them percipients. About 7 were the best, after he kind of narrowed it down. What's her name? Not Linda. Kathleen Middleton was one of the main ones, as well as this guy named Alan Hencher, who was a post office telephone operator who correctly predicted a plane crash in Cyprus down to like basically the exact number of victims. So there were some that were really good. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Fairly devised an 11-point scoring system for the predictions, 5 points for unusualness, 5 points for accuracy, and 1 point for timing. So they were really trying to be scientific and cataloging about it.
5 points for what? Uniqueness?
Unusualness.
Unusual. 5 points.
5 points for accuracy and 1 point for timing.
5 out of 5 for unusual.
It does seem, yeah, I don't know how else you would rate that. It reminds me of, I listened to the Disaster Hour podcast, and they'll do like 5 points each for, was it predictable, was it preventable, and was it something else? And then if it gets like all 15 points, then they're like, we get to point that finger. I'm like, it's cute. I like their little rating system. So yeah, this basically just to cap it out here, but yeah, it's just the beginning of the Bureau story, which, as I said, we could talk about them more, and Barker
sounds
more.
Crazy, that place.
Premonition Bureau, like what? This is a real thing? Yeah. But to kind of cap it out, there was one that happened. Could have been their very first prediction if it hadn't happened on the same day that the Bureau was announced to be opened in the newspaper. Like the same day they were asking for people to send in their premonitions. It was January. This thing happened. So Donald Campbell, he was a 46-year-old speed racer who was attempting to break another record. So he would he had some land speed records and also on water.
Oh, okay.
Speedboat, whatever. And while attempting to break his own world record on his second run on Coniston Water in the Lake District, his boat somersaulted off the surface and sank, unfortunately killing him. So it I don't know, he was going so fast it clipped the water so hard that somehow it went under. I don't know.
That's scary.
Right? He had broken 8 world records, and this time he died. But the night before, while playing a card game called Russian Patience with a friend, he drew the Ace of Spades, followed by the Queen. Which we all know the Queen of Spades is bad if we've ever played Crazy Eights.
No.
Oh, you don't play with that rule? Or you've not played Crazy Eights?
No. Played.
Damn, it's so fun. It usually just means you have to pick up 5 cards in that, and if you do that rule. So it kind of sucks. So he remarked to a friend that this was the same hand that Mary Queen of Scots drew the night before she was beheaded in 1587. And I like history, but I don't know how he knew that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and how do we know that?
That's probably written somewhere. He thought it meant he would die, or someone would die. As the one quote put it, "I know that one of my family is going to get the chop," Campbell had said. "I pray to God it is not me."
The chop.
The chop.
You've been chopped.
I feel like that was the second source. I feel like the first source was a little bit more like, I think I'm going to die tomorrow. You know? This one, he's like, "Oh, someone in my family." I was like, okay.
I hope it's not me.
Yeah.
Better not be me.
Oh, fuck you. But yeah, it's true that in the UK, the one article mentioned how in Scotland and the outerlying Hebrides Islands, something called the second sight is commonly reported, part of their superstition. Not that unusual for someone to have that ability. And Barker's hope was that we could harness this sight to help prevent the tragedies that could be to come. So a real life Minority Report, sort of. Like, not that we're going to predict everyone's little murder, but if there's going to be a disaster, that we could see it. Ideally, the system would be linked with a computer, he wrote. With patience, it should be possible to detect patterns or peaks which might even suggest the nature and possible date, time, and place of a disaster. Would be cool. And in the first year, the Premonition Bureau collected 469 predictions. Not all of them were frightening. A young Australian living in Beckenham named George Cranmer claimed to foresee the winner of the Grand National Horse Race. His tip for the Derby came in second. It was pretty good. But Hencher and Middleton were the experiment's stars. In the fall of 1967, both predicted a railway crash on the main line heading into London. On November 1st, Middleton had a vision of the crowd on a railway platform and the words Charing Cross, which I know that's a train station. 4 days later, a passenger train from Hastings was derailed on its way to the station, killing 49 people. Hencher was on a night shift and was taken to the sick bay with a headache at the time of the crash. The Evening News, which was the Evening Standard's main rival, put "The Strange Case of the Two Who Knew" on its front page. "Quite honestly, it staggers me," Barker said. The newspaper reported somehow, while dreaming or awake, they can gate crash the time barrier. And that's where I decided to end it. Should we decide to pick it up?
Yeah. That's interesting if they got so many of them.
I know! 469 predictions in their first year? What? Crazy.
Yeah. Before the internet, even. For it to reach how many people that you get, like 400, almost 500 people reply to you.
I know. They said it was like a national newspaper, so I don't think it had more than like 10,000 subscribers at the most. Like,
yeah, crazy.
Oh. I know. I wanted to go, like, yeah, before I found the New Yorker article today, when I was typing up my notes, I honestly like had more on the 6 predictions that their main predictions that like Kathleen and the Alan guy made. And then I was like, no, let me round out this one we've got, and then if we have time to delve into those ones in another episode, we'll do that. But
yeah, might have to save it for Patreon.
Right? I was like, I could do another whole rabbit hole like case on this John Barker guy, and then like all the predictions of the Bureau. So like, yeah, that could be a fun follow-up episode. You're right.
Yeah. Wow. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed. This one's going to end up being a long one.
I think so, but it was fun. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there was too much to cut out. We didn't even tangent that much at the beginning or anything.
No, I think we only recorded for maybe 10 minutes before we did the in the like proper intro. So,
Yes.
yeah. We'll see.
Yeah,
It's okay. You guys don't mind. Nobody
No, hell
complains
no.
that they're too long. Except us when we're trying to edit them and we're like, God, don't we ever stop
That's
talking?
true. Oh, and on that note, next week, what are we talking about?
Cults? Cults, and more cults?
Cults.
Cold cuts?
And cultish.
Yeah.
Not all the cults are, obvious cults these days. Some podcasts argue that, every reality show is a cult. I'm probably in the Outlander cult, all of those things.
People are loose with the term cult nowadays.
Oh, yeah. All right, I gotta go to the bathroom. Until next time, keep it cryptic.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Castles and Cryptids. We love all our listeners and appreciate every subscriber, every new review, every listen, rate, and download. Our music is by Kobe Off Air, and our cover art is by Antonio Garcia. We are also a proud member of Darkcast Network, where you can find the best and spookiest of all indie podcasts. Follow us on social media, where we are at Castles and Cryptids on mostly all of the things, now including TikTok. Check out our bonus content on Patreon. Cryptid clashes, video minisodes of your hosts making asses of themselves, Ask Me Anything, quizzes, other special episodes, and more. Starting at just $2 a month, you can get 1 to 2 extra episodes, depending on your level. We produce, edit, and research everything ourselves, and any support you can lend helps us to keep it cryptic.